Our next guest tells the jokes, treads the boards, lights up the screen and writes all the bestsellers. His 11th smash hit kids book, Robin Hood, aged 10 3/4, is out now. So please welcome a man who's all killer, never filler, and always Ben Miller!
Good morning, Mr. Miller!
Oh, it's lovely to be here. I was just thinking I would never buy a Stormtrooper.
Oh, here we go.
outfit.
There's somebody else has got one. That's the first thing everybody who's got one says.
Can I just say...
That's exactly what he said.
I'm too short to wear a Stormtrooper.
That's the second thing people say.
You've got to be tall. You've got to have a certain body shape. You've got to have a certain body
It's
shape.
all in the outfit. The body shape's in
Is
the
it
outfit.
not? Will I get away with this?
Yeah, you would, yeah.
If I thought I
What
would
do you
get away
mean,
with it.
would you get away? Do you think we're falling for any of this, Miller? Have you been, you like reading his playbook?
This is what we talked about backstage at Carfest.
Yes.
Those Stormtrooper outfits.
Backstage at Comic Con, you mean? Come on, clearly you have a Stormtrooper outfit.
I've got a helmet. Not a £159,000
Have you actually?
helmet. Yeah, my son. I got one for my son, and
Oh,
I occasionally.
of course you did. I bet he doesn't even know it's in the house. Anyway, look, Robin Hood, aged 10 3/4. Ben Miller, the brand new adventure from Ben Miller. Here we go. Charlie, tell us about Charlie. She's at school. She's not sure about things. You've heard about horrible histories. Well, what about horrible headmasters? Over to you, Ben.
Horrible deputy headmasters. She's at a school. She's at a new school. She's escaping in the world of Robin Hood. She loves the story of Robin Hood. She goes to the school library and she discovers there's this incredible door. And you walk through the door, your school uniform, you change into a character from Robin Hood. And she becomes Robin. Her friends, one of them becomes sort of Will Scarlet. One becomes Little John, except he remains sort of 4'0" rather than getting the height. But he's great with the 3/4 staff. Charlie discovers she can ride a horse. She's got an expert with a bow and arrow, and she becomes a hero in this world, and has to fight now the Sheriff of Nottingham, who's the horrible deputy head. He's come through into the portal. She has such an adventure in this world, and she gains such confidence from battling these enemies that she then goes back to school, and she has that new confidence now in her new school, and she's made friends, and she's found her place, basically.
Can we just have a controlled round of applause for that explanation about that? He's just done all the heavy lifting there. I mean, he wrote the book, but that was awesome, Ben. You can breathe now.
I can breathe now, yeah. I've been rehearsing that for 6 days.
That was great, man.
Thank you.
Now, if you were to write a book, say your next book was Captain America, aged 10 3/4, you'd be in jail by lunchtime, wouldn't you? Because of the licensing and all that.
Yeah, you've got to find someone who's not under copyright.
But Robin Hood, I mean, I didn't realise that we can all write our own Robin Hood books.
We can all write our own Robin Hoods, and this is one of the reasons I wanted to write the stories. I loved that story when I was growing up. I think it was the moment where Robin, I got to the end of the book, and Robin, I don't even remember this bit. This is brilliant. This is brilliant storytelling. Robin has been injured mortally by the Sheriff of Nottingham. I think, an archery competition went wrong, something. He's lying on a bed. He's expiring. Little John is there by his side.
Yeah.
He can see the green wood through the window. He pulls back, draws back the arrow. Last bit of strength, last breath, he fires this arrow, sails through the air, lands smack bang in a giant oak tree, and he says, "Little John, there bury me." And I just collapsed in tears as a kid. I was like, it felt like so heroic, so noble, and I felt so moved that this character I'd been, the first time you fall in love with a character in a book, and then that character, something happens at the end of the book. Usually it's just that the book ends and you feel bereaved because you've lost the character. But in this case, it was the first time I think as a child I really felt so moved by a story. And it's always meant so much to me, Robin Hood. And I kind of I feel like there's not been a great version recently of that story, because we had Prince of Thieves when I was, in the 80s, 90s. So many great Robin Hood TV shows, I remember, when I was a kid. And I felt like it's time to sort of... Kids know the story, but maybe they haven't experienced it firsthand.
Do you think somebody could do make a film like, they made Richard III 20 odd years ago with brilliant Syrian McKellen, and it was based in King's Cross.
It was.
It was absolutely fantastic.
It was incredible the way he did it.
Station, wasn't it?
With all the kind of Nazi symbols.
Yeah,
and
it was
brilliant.
It was brilliant. Do you think you could do a Robin Hood in like New York or something?
Totally good. That's a brilliant idea. Yeah, you totally could, because the thing about the character It's one of the things. Another reason I love this story is there are two sort of big stories in British culture. There's King Arthur, the sort of noble king who governs his subjects and brings them together against the Normans. Was it the Saxons? No, one of the two. And then you've got Robin Hood, who is kind of the opposite. Do you know what I mean? And we love them both. And Robin Hood is basically, I know what they're doing. We're going to live in the Greenwood.
The old Robin Hood films.
It's a fantastic story.
It is a great story. So, what other franchises are for free? Who else could we write for free? Who else? Because this could be either this could this could either be like a Robin Hood age 10 3/4 sort of Adrian Mole. Let's see how this goes and stick with Charlie, or you just go blah 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 age 10 3/4, and they're all Charlie, and Charlie takes out a different book and she goes,
that's it. I've got the portal, I've got the library, it's ready to go.
So what else could you go for?
We could walk into all sorts of stories. I guess anything. What is the copyright? Is 75 years or something? So anything Charles Dickens, you could go into.
It'd be the character, wouldn't it? You need the character.
You need the character.
Scrooge age 10 3/4.
Scrooge age
Not
10
very
3/4.
I suppose.
That's good.
Yeah,
I like that.
I suppose they have to be a ready-made hero, don't they?
They've got to be a hero, or they could be anything that is. One of the things about Charlie becoming a hero is it's nice if the character is lacking that thing in their life, when they go through, isn't it? It's nice that they get to experience something that they're not experiencing.
What about Robinson Crusoe, age 10 3/4?
I love that story, Robinson Crusoe.
I know. I think Robinson Crusoe might be my favourite story.
Yeah, brilliant story, and sort of inspired by a famous shipwreck. I think Robinson Crusoe in the 18th century. When there was these huge galleons ploughing the seas of the world. They'd have these terrible shipwrecks. And there was a very famous shipwreck, and a guy got stuck on an island, and Robert Louis Stevenson got inspired by that and wrote, I think, probably one of the first adventure stories, right?
Yeah, do you remember the theme tune?
Oh my goodness, that was a classic. That was always on sort of Saturday mornings when I was a kid.
I've gone into upstairs downstairs. You ever played the Star Wars game?
Star Wars, we can't do that. We will get sued if we do that.
No, have you ever played the Star Wars game? The theme tune game?
No.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
So what you do is what's the Star Wars theme tune? Go on.
I can only think of the Stormtrooper one.
What's the main theme of Star Wars?
That's come on, Dallas.
I've only got Dallas.
Well, that's the game. That's the game. The game is you end up singing Dallas all the time. That's the game. You just that's
they
the
are
game.
quite similar, aren't they?
Quite similar, right? Throwing Raiders of the Lost Ark. Go on, have a go at that one.
Oh no, I can't. You've hit my blind spot.
You can't honestly.
They're all the same.
Well, they're not the same, but the point is they are very similar.
Yeah.
The Superman's easy to remember because if you just think about 3 steps down, da 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 da.
That sounds like all the others.
Star Wars, in case you're playing the game at home, it's winding you up and you think, oh no, don't do this to me. Yeah, it's too high for our register. But anyway, we're giving it a go. We're giving it a go, everyone. Yeah. So, Rob, who would think also the name Robin? Because, Robin, talk about a normie name. No offence to any Robins, but it's a pretty normie name. But it's featured. Robin Hood. You have, we just mentioned another Robin. Robinson Crusoe.
Robinson.
By the way, is Robin short for Robinson? Are you always a Robinson if you're a Robin? And I don't know. If I was named Robin, I'd say to Mum and Dad, "What's wrong with Robinson?" Because Robinson's cool, man. Robin's Nest.
Robin's Nest.
Yeah. Rockin' Robin.
Rockin' Robin.
Yeah. Robbed a bank. Who would have thought? Robin's it's quite up there, quite salient in creative culture.
Robin's very salient. And did they call Robin Hood Rob? Ever? Because you're in the Greenwood,
that's what he did, wasn't it? He robbed.
He robbed, yeah. And he had a hood. I mean,
and he was in it.
That's the least.
He was in it.
Do you know that is the least convincing part?
The Hood.
Robin the Hood. Maybe that's where it came from. That is the least convincing part of Robin Hood for me, is the hood. In Prince of Thieves, where Kevin Costner, he says, I shall disguise myself and, visit the Sheriff of Nottingham. He just pulls up his hood, which vaguely sort of covers his eyebrows, but it's basically just Kevin Costner in a hood.
But that's like the horror films when they go into the basement. You go, don't go into the basement, don't go into the cellar.
Yeah, don't do it.
Don't just go into the cellar.
Robin, don't do it. Don't pull your hood up and go and, compete
You've
with the Sheriff
mentioned
of Nottingham.
Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves a few times now. Did you watch the Kevin Costner film again to get you in the mood for the book?
Oh yeah,
It's a great film,
and
isn't
the bit
it?
on the arrow.
I love
I
Kevin
love the bit on
Costner.
the arrow. Oh, I'm on an arrow. I'm flying through the forest. I was so freaked out
By the
when
way,
I saw that the first time.
if you were a bowman, right? Mm-hmm. I'd always like the arrow. I would never fire a non-lit arrow.
Yeah, you don't. Oh, you as
They
opposed
just
to
look
not
great.
lighting the
They
arrow.
just look great.
You've
I
got
mean,
to
I know
light
that
an
they're
arrow.
different arrows because they're about setting the forest on fire. That's what they're about.
Yeah.
And then what you do is you fire your lighted arrow, your lit arrow,
Yeah.
and then you set the forest on fire. Then you change the arrow for the pointy one, and then you kill people as they're running away from the flame, from the incendiary
That
arrow.
is clever.
But I would just want to fire the
Just fire the
fire the fire.
Fire the fiery
Fire
one.
the fire. That's what I want to do all the time.
And Robin, of course,
Have you ever-
very
have you ever-
famous.
You ever,
Have I ever fired an arrow?
have you ever bowed?
I have once bowed. It's
not easy,
I like.
is
Is
it?
that the term?
It's not easy, is it?
It's not easy at all.
So hard.
And you know what? They're terrifying because you just think that this
So much
is
energy in it.
Yeah, so much energy and power, and they're massive. The longbows, particularly, aren't they? And have you ever fired a crossbow?
No.
They're horrible
Yeah, they
things.
feel
So that
horrible.
they look there. So you sort of pull this
Load.
bit of load it, pull the thing back. It is like a workbench.
Yeah, yeah.
It's sort of nasty thing.
Yeah.
I think I fired one actually because I was played the Sheriff of Nottingham in when
What?
Doctor Who. They did a Robin Hood
Hang
version.
on a minute.
Yes, I know. And I'm pretty sure I held a crossbow
They
in
had
that.
a Robin Hood episode of Doctor Who.
Robin Hood is written by Mark Gatiss. It's a brilliant episode.
Gosh. See, I want to watch that now as
oh,
well.
yeah, it's fantastic.
I might not have
It's
time
really
to read the book, for heaven's sake. But somebody who did have time to read the book is young Mary, and we'll have her
Mary.
review coming up after this. Are you worried, Ben Miller?
I am slightly tense.
Well, let me tell you, you shouldn't be. It's absolutely glowing. In fact, we're only playing it because she bothered to read it, and it's an amazing review. It's a great book. Ben Miller, he's only gone and done it again. A little distracted here as I have been handed a picture of Janet Jackson sitting at the TFI Friday desk. There you go.
Look at that.
I thought she was on TFI Friday, but I wasn't sure. She's definitely been on the radio show. There, she's looking absolutely lovely, isn't she? She looks
Those were
really
the
happy.
days. I used to come and stand in the bar.
You did not?
I did, yeah.
How come? Tell us.
Because Natasha, who worked on your show, was a friend of Xander's, and she sometimes used to get us a pass, and we used to come and stand in the bar.
Crazy, wasn't it?
Oh, it was so much fun.
It's crazy.
Yeah, it was
Electric.
brilliant. Yeah,
Electric.
amazing.
Who, can you remember which guests were on when you came?
Oh.
Bands?
I remember one was... I just remember you doing this thing where there was like a dancing competition. To be honest, I was a little bit
Yeah, of course you were.
eased.
But fun.
I was slightly eased. So
And did you go
it
out
passed
afterwards?
in a bit of a blur. Yes, we'd go out afterwards. Of course we would. Yeah. It was like the perfect beginning to an evening because it was
Well,
start.
Can I just say, there's
Yeah.
another big TFI connection here today because Shed 7 are playing live on the show in a bit, and Shed 7 played the pilot.
Wow.
Without Shed
that's
7's
brilliant.
energy, maybe TFI Friday may not have happened.
Wow, that is
you go.
amazing.
Ben Miller, Chris of the team, please say a massive thank you to Ben Miller from us. Ready for this? It's a biggie.
Always ready.
Fiona says, our 14-year-old dyslexic, very reluctant reader son Henry heard Ben speak at Carfest and was so taken with what he said, he asked us to buy him one of Ben's books. He spent the rest of the day reading the book at Carfest and he finished it in that same day. That's boosted his confidence more than you can ever believe. And the following day at Carfest, we went back and bought 3 more books, which he's also now finished. Ben inspired something in Henry and he's now reading every day.
That's amazing.
How do you feel about that?
That makes me feel fulfilled.
And you're so full, it's coming out of your eyes,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah, it's
Good
beautiful.
for you. Isn't that a gorgeous thing?
Yeah, that's beautiful. Thank
Ben
you.
Miller, morning, Chris, and the Friday team, Catherine Doncaster. My 15-year-old daughter, Alice, and I saw him with Rob Brydon and Vassos at Carfest. They were so funny. We went and bought one of Ben's books. Worst book I've ever read. No, I'm
It's put my son off reading forever.
He signed one of his books for Alice and was so lovely to us and everyone else. Hurrah! Only joy
Carfest
here.
was fun. Carfest was
Well,
very
you
good
make
fun.
it fun. You and
I
Rob
loved
make it fun.
We loved it.
Are you and Rob going to go out on the
I
road?
hope so. I'm trying to persuade him. Yeah, I'm trying
I thought
to.
he'd.
You know,
I talked to him. I thought he'd be bang up for it. I think he will. I think he's bang up for
I
it.
think he is.
He's
being
very
coy.
busy,
He's
Gavin
very
and
busy.
Staceying
Yeah.
at the moment and all that. What have you heard about that? Any
Well,
insight?
I mean,
are you in it? Are you
I'm
playing
not
Robin
in
Hood?
it, but I
and-
did tell you what. I was. I live west, and I was walking my way through Paddington Station, and I saw James Corden And I thought, he's just come back from Wales. They're filming Gavin and Stacey. So I'm glad to have that confirmed.
You saw James?
Yeah, I saw him. Yeah. Like, fleetingly.
Did you say hi?
I did. I waved.
Hiya, James.
And he blanked me.
No,
I
he didn't.
No.
I mean, is it done? The latest PAP image I saw from the filming of Gavin and Stacey was them all walking down the street, and I thought, that's the end shot. They're gonna, because he's got to. James has got to put a song in there, hasn't he?
Oh yeah,
he's got to. I bet they all finish and they're all the gang's back together. Do you think so?
Yeah,
Be nice.
Yeah. Kind of Islands in the Stream moment.
Yeah. Oh yeah, of course.
So
That's what
brilliant.
It'll be.
So
Islands in the
brilliant.
Stream.
Yeah.
Good. All right. We can't put it off any longer. Have you heard about this? Have you heard about the Cliff Cafe?
No.
The Cliff Cafe it's a Zen cajon. I'm going to butcher it now, but it's something like, if you feel too comfortable for your own good, as many of us do, but we don't like to admit it, and you think, what the heck, I'm going to take a leap of faith. A lot of people listen to the show and then they get in contact. They say, listen to the show for the last few years. You know, all the positive chat. It's made me think about my life. I've changed my job and here's what I'm doing. Or I've set up my own bit. We get a lot of that, Ben.
Great.
It's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
But if you go to the edge of the cliff and the cliff of certainty, and you're not going to dive to your demise, but you want to take the leap of faith, and you make it to the edge of the cliff, then well done. Yeah, you're 90% of the way there, but of course you're not all the way there. And so all your friends come, and you're at the edge of the cliff, and they say, "Okay, good luck, well done. Are you ready to take the leap of faith?" And you think, "Well, I am. Can I have a cup of tea first?" And you go, yeah, get him a cup of tea. Get him a cup of tea. So you have the cup of tea, and you think, oh god. And now you've not gone for it. It's like the kid at the top of the big slide. You know, think about it for 10 seconds, it's going to be 10 hours.
Don't think, yeah.
And then you go, can I have a croissant? You go, yeah, get him a croissant. He's had the tea. Get him a croissant. Can I have a chair? Yeah, get him a table. You want a table? Okay, can I have some company? Get some more chairs. And before you know it, you've got a cafe on the cliff.
Right.
And you think, I don't need to take the leap of faith. I've got my cafe now. And you still haven't taken your leap of faith. And that's what we're doing with this review from Mary. We're at risk of creating our own radio version of The Cafe on the Cliff, unless we go for it now. But we've almost waited too long. Yeah. You may have forgotten the reason Ben's on the show. I nearly have. I've nearly forgotten the reason I'm on the show. The brand new adventure from Ben Miller, school kid by day, hero by night, Robin Hood, Charlie, aged 10 3/4, illustrated by Elise Paganelli.
Elise the Paganelli.
Yeah, good. But is it any good? Is it really any good?
Here we go.
Well, here's the thing, but as you know, Mary's a fan of your writing.
Yeah.
Okay.
I put this one in front of her.
Okay.
She holds you in such high esteem.
Yeah.
She can only be disappointed.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
Or can she?
Is it another hit from Miller, or is his lucky streak about to end? Let's find out.
Robin Hood, aged 10 3/4, is funny and absolutely fantastic. It's like situations that are real and scary, like being nervous starting a new school and then learning how to shoot a bow and arrow. And it's all connected somehow. Ben Miller is my favourite. He was also very funny at Carfest.
All right, how much you pay her? Clearly, you got to the witness at Carfest.
I love that.
You said, Mary, come over here. In a couple of weeks' time, I'm going to be in your dad and Evans' show. How much are you going to take?
Here is £5.
She gets 2 from me.
She gets 2 for the review.
Even the ones that we forget to play, she gets £2 for.
She's on a
She's on a pay or play contract, isn't she? Pay and play contract. I don't know what she's
It's very good.
Yeah.
Do you record her on your phone?
Yeah.
At home? Yeah. So she's not like in a sort of studio. No.
She doesn't come in.
Yeah. Okay.
And is that as she said it, or is that the author's cut?
That's how she said it. No, I've got it on my
Beautiful.
phone here.
Really?
She
Thank
just goes
you, Mary.
straight on.
So he could still do it, can he? He's still rocking it. All right, well, then maybe you're going to have to buy this one as well, everyone. Ben Miller, school kid by day, hero by night. Robin Hood, aged 10 3/4. Congratulations, Ben. What else is going on?
Well, I've got an exciting show that I hope's going to come out in the new year. It's called Austin. Yeah. We're about to film the second series. It's a show we made in Australia last year, and it's been out in Australia, but the first season's going to be on over here. And I'm really excited
Tell us
about
it. Come on.
So, big stretch. I play a children's author.
Yeah.
No, it's quite fun. And Sally Phillips and I are like a husband and wife, author, illustrator team. And we do these books called Big Bear. And we're going over to Australia to do a book tour. But before we leave, I'm on the Twitters or the X's. Yes. And when we land, it turns out I've retweeted someone, a fascist, basically, and I get cancelled. So then I'm trying to get our book tour reinstated. I phone up a bookshop. I managed to get a signing for us. We go along. It turns out it's a right-wing bookshop.
Is it a comedy?
It's a comedy. Yeah, stay with it. And along comes a sort of 30-year-old autistic man, and I say to him, "Are you here for Big Bear or the racism?" And he says, "Well, actually, I'm here because I think you're my father." And I say,
"Oh my gosh!"
I say, "I don't think that can be possible because I've never been to Australia before and I don't actually find Australian women attractive." And he says, no, my mother worked in catering in London 30 years ago and she met you then." And I said, "Well, catering is a very charged atmosphere." I phone my agent and I'm saying, "It's terrible, I've been cancelled. And what's worse is this 30-year-old autistic guy's just come along and says, I'm his father." And my publicist says, "Wait a minute, this is your way back from cancellation. If you make a documentary about getting to know your autistic son, we can bring you back from children's author jail." So basically, I then pretend to start being a father to this guy for the benefit of a documentary. Right. And of course, as the story goes on, we form more and more of a bond, and then he discovers that I'm only doing it for the documentary.
Oh my goodness me.
So it's got so much. It's Faustian. But the main thing about it is the autistic character is played by Michael Theo, who was in Love on the Spectrum, the Australian show, and he's autistic himself, and he is the most brilliant actor, so funny, and he's so wonderful in this show. Yeah,
All
so
right,
he plays
if
Austin.
People have only got time in their life to either read your new book or watch your new series, which should they do?
They should read the book, obviously.
So the Chinese answer to that would be Mew. You know about that?
Mew.
Yeah.
Oh no, I don't know.
Yeah,
I like that.
Mew is like an answer to an unanswerable question, and what it means, it translates as, "Can you please unask the question?"
That's beautiful. Mew. Yeah.
Yeah. Not meow. That's
Meow, not
different.
meow.
That's different. All right. Thank you, Ben.
Lovely to be here. I'm going to get back into my stormtrooper outfit
Round
now.
applause for Ben Miller. Yeah, baby.
Thank you.
He's the greatest. He's the best. We always put him to the interview test. He's Ben Miller.